Ooh, hey everybody. Oh my goodness, I'm out here. I'm in Florida, freezing to death. I got on a jacket and a blankie. Boy, it's cold. But I've been thinking a lot and having some, I guess you would call maybe it's just some personal revelations. And it's 2018 and there's lots of things that are happening around this earth that can't be explained, scientifically, and NASA's looking for a planetary protector, and all this stuff is going out, and it's crazy, you know. And I've discovered that I have an ability, well, several abilities actually, that just kind of smashed down on me over the past 6 months. I can channel people, entities, if you will, spirits, and I have a healing type sensation in my hands that just started. It's like I've opened myself or attuned myself to a higher level, and it's kind of like a Reiki pulling, and it's very interesting. And I went to a shop here not too long ago, earlier today, called My Cauldron, and to talk to some other people who can actually feel what's going on through me. I've actually been successful in taking my energy through the device that I'm holding, my phone, and pushing that through to other people's devices. If you can't tell me that's not an awesome power to have, but I've done it. Me, Mary Rios, I've done it. I've had people come up to me, and I've felt an overwhelming sensation to ask them if they've, would mind if I, did a Reiki type healing on them, and they felt my purpose, and they felt the ability. And not everyone's a believer. Not everyone, there are a lot of fakes out there, but I can prove it. And with proof, the metaphysical is not impossible. But it's something just very recently, right on my birthday, the cusp of my birthday, June 1st, is when I started having these revelations. And Lord, have I been through some personal trials and tribulations over the past 6 months. And I'm seeing the end. I'm seeing the light, the tunnel at the end. And I've just got to set my blocks up the right way. And build a foundation. But one thing I wanted to discuss was, there's lots of propaganda going around about, God's return and Jesus' return, and I have my own little opinion about that, and it begins with God Himself, the benevolent spirit, the all-natural energy that created everything that we see. And not everyone believes in God. My wife doesn't believe in God, but I do. And this is a strong conviction that I have just recently had come into my life. And I was baptized. I felt an overwhelming sensation to become baptized, and I did. And I want to go on and baptize my 2 children, and devote the properties that I have to healing others, and possibly, bringing spirits to other people that they've lost in their lives, kind of like the Long Island medium. But I do not believe the Long Island medium is truthful and honest. I can prove myself. I have several times. Just people haven't really known, or others aren't susceptible to such things. But right now I'm trying to radiate and focus energy, which is difficult whenever you're talking and I'm smoking and I'm doing all these things and it's cold. So it may not transfer through, but it may. But what I want to get down to is the benevolent spirit that is our God. And it says he is a jealous God. And then put no other God before him. And he gave his only begotten Son. His only begotten Son. Now, it doesn't say that he didn't have daughters. It doesn't say he didn't have more children. But we're all his children. We're all part of his spirit, of his being. God is within everything. And that's something that people don't realize. That maybe when they call out for God's help, and when it says that God's holding you through life's hard times, through all these different things, maybe God gave himself up to become us. You know what I'm saying? Because energy is infinite, and energy has an infinite wisdom. And we could be on different planes, or, there could be multiverses. There's scientific evidence of many different universes out there, but our universe, the spiral of the Milky Way, you think of the spirals that are in your body, the spiral in the center of your thumbprint, or the spiral in your ears. It didn't just happen just because. There has to be, another reason, another something that made this all come to fruition. And I'm talking about it today because, I feel a calling to do certain things, and I don't quite understand them, and sometimes it can be overwhelming. Sometimes it can't, to have empathic abilities, and I'm putting myself out there, and that makes me very vulnerable. But with vulnerability also comes strength, and with strength you gain wisdom. The stronger you are as an individual, you can surpass anything in life. Anything that life has a hold on you, there's a way through it, around it, surround it, up under it. There's always a way that we could go, a choice we could make. But what I wanted to talk about, what I was alluding to, was, God being this benevolent spirit, this energy, this light, this love. God became us. God became each and every one of us. He gave parts of himself to create all of us, to magnify the abilities, the magnitude of what being human and having humanity means. We were created in God's image, so therefore we all carry a part of his light within us. We always carry that light, but it's up to us what we do with it, and if we have ourselves open to receive that inner light. And there's going to be some great things in 2018, and there's going to be some not so great things in 2018, from just how I feel. But it's very interesting. Being in a situation like I am now, but like I said, through my vulnerability becomes strength, and that strength becomes knowledge, and then that knowledge carries you through life, and it is what it is. But it's very cold here in Florida. I don't like the cold at all. I would just love it if it would just warm back up to at least about 60, which is supposed to be coming next week, almost to the 70s again. So I'm going to be like, yeah, I can wear spring and summer clothes and not have to bundle up. But if you believe, that something greater and something bigger is coming, then, good for you. I'm glad. And if you are one of the people who have things that you could do, count it as a blessing. It's a celestial blessing, basically. It puts you in a situation where you can do good across this earth, and that's what I believe I'm here for. I have a very pure heart. I'm very open to people, and sometimes that openness gets me taken advantage of. And the past probably 3 or 4 months, I've been taken advantage of quite a bit, just because I trusted others. I trusted people. And there are so many bad people on this earth. If you think about it, what if the rapture is actually backwards? Because it says we're supposed to inherit the earth. We are set to inherit the earth. We are, the human race is here to stay. And my twist on the rapture would be all of the bad people being zoomed off and taken away to the hottest place, whether it be down in hell or the lake of fire, which is the sun, I believe. I believe the sun's the lake of fire because it's hotter than hell, supposedly. And that's what I believe, and I'm not going to falter in my belief. I'm not going to change the way I think. I've lost friends just because I believe in God, and that's a terrible thing. There's people out there who actually have defriended me, and most of them are gay, just because I believe in God. What sense does that make? It doesn't change me as a person or as an individual. It changes the fact that they're just not an open person, and they don't accept others' ways of seeing things or believing in things, but yet these same group of people want equality. How that is such an oxymoron. And an oxymoron, if you don't know what that means, is something that just doesn't fit together. It makes absolutely no sense. It doesn't make any sense for a group of people, especially gay people, my friends that I've had for years, to basically disown me because I believe in God. And out of the same mouth comes, I want equality. How does that ever exist if you're not giving me equality? And it's kind of sad, really. But I do believe that we're created in the light and in the image of the Lord, and you have to go through Lord Jesus Christ to get to God. I firmly believe that, and that's how I'm going to live my life from this day forward. It's a difficult path to be on, especially when you have people who, don't believe in who you are or what you can do or different things or understanding signs or what have you. But for those of you who truly, understand the path that humanity is currently on, then you're going to understand the inception of enlightenment and our higher purpose. And like I said, maybe the Bible was written in a certain way to be decoded, and like the Da Vinci Code. We live in an area of the atmosphere, the Milky Way, that's called the Goldilocks zone, and that's basically an area where life can exist. And that Goldilocks zone looks like it's expanding over to the next planet. There's scientific research saying that the planet before us looked like an old Earth, and now it's kind of looking like it's kind of directing away to the next planet over, and I believe there's other life out there. Even though I believe in God, I do believe there's other life out there, because God would not have said, put no other God before me, because you're created in my image. I believe that ancient aliens, I watched that show, I believe that there are aliens that have come down and tinkered with our DNA and have caused things in our DNA that were never supposed to be. There is a video on YouTube that America sent out a message into outer space. And then a crop figure came back with the answer, and it basically said they had 3 strands of DNA. And if we have 2 strands of DNA, which we do, the double helix, and scientists cannot figure out what most of it even does, or considers it junk DNA. Could you imagine the amount of junk DNA in a species that has 3 strands? I mean, they're probably going to have a lot more good DNA to create things, time travel, whatever, you believe in. But they also have a lot of junk DNA if they've got 3 strands. So, that's my little tidbit. That's, just the tip of the iceberg for me. But, I hope people understand where I'm coming from, and others out there who are becoming enlightened, or receiving messages. Great. It's a good thing. But I'm going to go ahead and cut it off. This is a long video. I know it is. A lot of people don't keep interest in long videos, but it is what it is. But you have a good night. Besos, and God bless.